Have you ever felt like you are running out of time? That nagging feeling that everything is moving too fast, and you just wish you could have an instant connection, an immediate result, an answer right now. It's a deeply human desire. But what if I told you that the very thing that creates that dilatha, slowness, the waiting, the journey, is the only thing holding our entire reality together? What if the ultimate speed limit, the one constant that governs everything from the starlight in your eyes to the atoms in your blood, simply vanished? Today, we're not just exploring a physics question. We are taking a journey into an alternate reality, a universe unchained and utterly broken. We're going to peel back the curtain of our stable existence and stare into the chaotic abyss that would emerge if the speed of light became infinite. This isn't just a thought experiment. It's a deep dive into why our universe works, why its limitations are its greatest gifts, and what it truly means to exist within the beautiful, orderly confines of time and space. So, buckle up, because we're about to break the cosmic speed limit, and in doing so, we're going to break everything else. Let's start with the basics. In our universe, there's a rule. A fundamental, non-negotiable law of the cosmos. Nothing can travel faster than light in a vacuum. It clocks in at an astonishing 299,792,458 meters per second, or about 186,282 miles per second. We call this constant c. Think of c not just as a speed, but as the supreme traffic cop of the universe. It dictates the flow of information, energy, and causality. It ensures that effect always follows cause, that the universe unfolds in an orderly, predictable sequence. It's the invisible architecture that keeps reality from collapsing into a nonsensical soup of random events. It's so fundamental that our entire understanding of physics is built upon its unyielding stability. Now, imagine we find a cosmic switch. With a single, silent flick, we change c from its fixed value to infinity. In that immeasurable instant, the traffic cop vanishes. All speed limits are gone. There are no more rules. What happens first? Chaos. Utter, unimaginable chaos. The universe, which once operated on a strict, logical timeline, is suddenly a place where everything can be everywhere, all at once. The very concept of travel time becomes meaningless. A photon of light leaving a distant star doesn't journey for 1,000,000 years. It is simply there, at its destination, the very nanosecond it is emitted. The universe is no longer a vast, sprawling expanse of space that takes time to traverse. It becomes a single, interconnected point. This isn't just a faster universe. It's a fundamentally different, and terrifyingly broken, state of being. The stable foundation of reality doesn't just crack. It disintegrates into dust. And this is just the beginning of the nightmare. For over a century, our understanding of the universe has been shaped by one brilliant mind, Albert Einstein. His theory of special relativity is one of the most beautiful and profound achievements in human history. And its entire magnificent structure rests on a single, elegant pillar, the constancy of the speed of light. If that pillar turns to sand, Einstein's masterpiece shatters into 1,000,000 pieces. Let's look at the core ideas that would instantly vanish. First, time dilation. This is the famous concept that the faster you move, the slower time passes for you relative to a stationary observer. It's what makes interstellar travel to the future theoretically possible. A crew could travel near the speed of light for a few years of their time and return to an Earth where centuries have passed. It's a mind-bending, but proven reality. But if the speed of light is infinite, this effect completely disappears. There is no ultimate speed to approach, so there is no distortion of time. The flow of time becomes absolute and universal for everyone, everywhere, regardless of their motion. The dream of using speed to travel into the future dies. Time becomes a rigid, unyielding cage. Next, length contraction. This is the bizarre phenomenon where an object moving at relativistic speeds appears shorter in its direction of motion. A spaceship traveling near light speed would, to an outside observer, look squashed. It's another consequence of space and time being interwoven. With an infinite c, this effect is gone. Objects would have the same length, whether they were sitting still or moving at any conceivable speed. The fluid, dynamic geometry of space-time would become rigid and static. But the most catastrophic consequence comes from Einstein's most famous equation. The one that has become a symbol of genius itself, E equals mc. This equation is not just a formula. It's a cosmic conversion rate. It tells us that mass m is a condensed form of energy E, and the conversion factor is the speed of light squared c. It's why nuclear bombs release such devastating energy from a small amount of mass, and why the sun can burn for billions of years. Now, let c be infinite. What happens to the equation? The c squared term becomes infinity squared, which is still infinity. The equation now reads E equals m asterisk infinity. This means that any particle with mass n, electron, a proton, a single grain of sand now possesses an infinite amount of energy. The universe wouldn't just experience a power surge. It would be subjected to a catastrophic, instantaneous energy overload. Every atom in your body, every rock on Earth, every star in the sky would unleash an infinite burst of energy. The universe would be consumed in a blaze of its own making, a final, all-encompassing firestorm born from a single broken rule. The elegant dance between matter and energy would become a final, apocalyptic explosion. We live our lives by a simple, unbreakable rule: cause precedes effect. You drop a glass, then it shatters. A star novas, then we see the light. A thought forms in your mind, then you speak the words. This logical sequence, called causality, is the bedrock of our sanity. It's how we make sense of the world, how we learn, plan, and exist. The speed of light is the universe's ultimate enforcer of causality, because nothing can travel faster than light. No signal or influence can arrive at a destination before it is sent. The universe has a built-in delay that preserves the order of events. With an infinite speed of light, this cosmic law is completely annihilated. The universe would descend into a state of causal anarchy. Imagine the absurd, reality-bending consequences. You could receive a phone call from a friend, have a full conversation, and hang up, only for your friend to decide to call you a minute later. You could watch a distant supernova explode in the sky, and then, hours later, see the star as it was, perfectly intact, moments before its death. The effect would not just precede the cause. It could happen independently of it, or in reverse order. Think about it on a personal level. How could you make a decision? If the consequences of your choice could arrive before you even made it, the very concept of free will would crumble. Reality would become a nonsensical, paradoxical magic trick. A story where the last page appears before the first. A life where your death could be witnessed before your birth. The universe would no longer be a coherent narrative, but a jumbled collection of disconnected moments. Memory would become unreliable, as the past could change after it happened. The future would be a chaotic storm of possibilities that could affect the present. Without the orderly flow of cause and effect, logic itself would break down. Our minds, which are wired to find patterns and understand sequences, would be lost in a sea of paradoxes. Existence would be a waking dream, or more accurately, a nightmare from which there is no escape. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered why, in an infinite universe filled with countless stars, it's dark? This question is known as Olber's paradox. The simple answer, in our universe, is that the universe is not infinitely old, and the light from the most distant stars hasn't had enough time to reach us yet. The finite speed of a light creates the beautiful, dark tapestry of night, punctuated by points of ancient light. Now, let's unleash infinite light speed on this paradox. With no travel time, the light from every single star in the observable universe and beyond would arrive at your eyes instantly and simultaneously. The sky would not just be bright, it would be an incomprehensible, uniform blaze of pure, white-hot brilliance. Every point in the sky would be as bright as the surface of a star. There would be no day and no night, only a single, eternal, blinding day. The sheer intensity of this light would be devastating. It would be like standing on the surface of the sun, but everywhere. The energy pouring down on Earth would instantly vaporize the oceans, melt the crust, and scour the planet of its atmosphere. But it gets even worse. We are constantly bathed in a faint, cool glow of radiation left over from the Big Bang, known as the cosmic microwave background, CMB. It's currently at a chilly 2.7 Kelvin, about minus 455 degrees Fahrenheit. This radiation fills all of space, but it has been traveling for 13.8 billion years, stretching and cooling as the universe expanded. With infinite light speed, that 13.8 billion year journey is erased. The CMB wouldn't arrive as a cool, faint whisper. It would hit us with the raw, untamed fury of the early universe. We would be instantly flash-fried by the primordial fires of creation. The baby picture of the universe would become its executioner. The sky would transform from a window into the cosmos, into a solid wall of lethal radiation and unbearable light. Darkness, the canvas for stars and dreams, would be a forgotten memory. One of the most profound and beautiful consequences of light's finite speed is that it turns our telescopes into time machines. When you look at the Andromeda Galaxy, 2.5 million light-years away, you aren't seeing it as it is today. You are seeing it as it was 2.5 million years ago. The light from that galaxy has been on an epic journey across the cosmos to reach your eyes. The James Webb Space Telescope can see galaxies as they were just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang, giving us a direct window into the dawn of cosmic history. This cosmic time machine is our only way to witness the universe's evolution. We can see galaxies forming, stars being born, and the entire grand narrative of the cosmos unfolding over billions of years. It gives us context, a sense of our place in this vast ancient universe. We are not just seeing space, we are seeing time itself. With an infinite speed of light, this window to the past slams shut forever. If light travels instantaneously, then, when we look at the Andromeda Galaxy, we would see it exactly as it is in our present moment. The same would be true for every other object in the sky. We would see the entire universe in a single, static snapshot of now. All evidence of cosmic history would be wiped clean from our view. We would have no way of knowing how the universe began. The Big Bang would be a theory with no observational proof. The evolution of galaxies would be a mystery. The entire field of cosmology would cease to exist. We would be like a person with profound amnesia, aware of the present moment, but with no knowledge of the past that led to it. This would be an incalculable loss. We would be cosmically isolated, trapped in an eternal, unchanging present. The grand, unfolding story of the universe would be lost to us, replaced by a single, silent, static image. Our connection to our own cosmic origins would be severed, leaving us adrift in a timeless, historyless void. Let's bring this cosmic catastrophe down to Earth. Our relationship with our own star, the Sun, would be terrifyingly altered. The Sun's light currently takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds. to travel the 93 million miles to Earth. This delay creates the gentle, gradual transitions of dawn and dusk. It also gives us a crucial warning period for solar events. In a universe with infinite light speed, that 8-minute buffer is gone. The transition from day to night would be instantaneous and jarring. There would be no sunset, no twilight, no golden hour. One moment, the sun would be in the sky, blazing at full intensity. The next, as the Earth rotates, it would vanish below the horizon, plunging the world into absolute darkness. It would be like someone flicking a giant celestial light switch off and on. The psychological effect of such harsh, abrupt transitions would be deeply unsettling. But the far greater danger would come from solar flares and coronal mass ejections. These are violent eruptions on the sun's surface that send massive clouds of charged particles and radiation hurtling into space. In our universe, we can see a flare erupt, and we know we have anywhere from those crucial 8 minutes for the electromagnetic radiation, to a few days for the slower-moving particles to prepare. We can protect satellites, stabilize power grids, and warn astronauts. With infinite light speed, there would be no warning. The very instant a catastrophic flare erupted on the sun, its lethal radiation and energy would strike the Earth. Our power grids would be fried, our satellites instantly disabled, and any astronauts in space would be exposed to a deadly dose of radiation without a moment's notice. The sun, our life-giving star, would become a ticking time bomb, capable of unleashing devastation upon us without any chance to react. We would live in constant, unpredictable peril, at the mercy of a star whose moods would be known to us only in the moment of their destructive arrival. The collapse of physics would force a complete and chaotic reinvention of our technology. Some aspects might seem like a science fiction utopia, while others would plunge us into a new dark age. On the one hand, communication would become instantaneous. Imagine having a real-time, lag-free conversation with an astronaut on Mars, or even with a probe sent to a star system 50 light-years away. Data transfer would be limitless and immediate. The entire internet could be downloaded to a device on the other side of the galaxy in 0 seconds. This could trigger an unprecedented explosion of exploration and colonization. We could control robotic probes in other galaxies as if they were in the same room. The universe would shrink, becoming a single, interconnected network. But this utopian vision comes at a devastating cost. Our most critical modern technologies are built on the foundation of relativity. The Global Positioning System, GPS, which guides everything from our cars, to our planes, to our financial transactions, relies on making incredibly precise corrections for both special and general relativity. The clocks on GPS satellites tick at a slightly different rate than clocks on Earth. Without these relativistic calculations, your GPS would be inaccurate by several miles within a single day. With infinite light speed, relativity is gone. GPS would fail instantly and catastrophically. Global logistics would grind to a halt. Aviation would become perilous. Financial networks that rely on precise timestamping would collapse. Our entire interconnected world, built on a system that understands and accounts for the finite speed of light, would be broken. We would be forced to rebuild our entire technological infrastructure from the ground up, using a new set of physical laws we don't even understand. We might gain the stars, but we would lose the world we built. The weirdness isn't confined to the large-scale cosmos. The microscopic realm of quantum mechanics is also deeply intertwined with relativity. Tugging on the thread of light speed would cause the entire tapestry of the quantum world to unravel. Consider quantum entanglement, what Einstein famously called spooky action at a distance. When two particles are entangled, measuring a property of one particle instantly influences the corresponding property of the other. no matter how far apart they are. In our universe, this doesn't violate the speed of light because you can't use it to send information faster than c. It's a correlation, not a communication channel. But in an infinite C universe, the distinction becomes blurry and chaotic. If everything is instantly connected, entanglement might not be a special two-particle relationship anymore. It could be that everything becomes instantly and chaotically linked to everything else. The universe could become a single, shuddering quantum entity, where a random quantum fluctuation in a distant galaxy could have an immediate and unpredictable effect on the atoms in your teacup. Furthermore, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, which states that you cannot simultaneously know both the precise position and momentum of a particle, could break down. This principle is fundamental to the stability of atoms, preventing electrons from spiraling into the nucleus. If this principle were to vanish, the very structure of matter could become unstable. The elegant probabilistic rules that govern the subatomic world would dissolve into an unpredictable mess. The microscopic foundation upon which our reality is built would turn to quicksand. Ultimately, all these cascading failures lead to one final, tragic conclusion. Life as we know it would be impossible. The existence of chemistry, and therefore biology, depends on a delicate balance of fundamental physical constants. One of the most important is the fine structure constant. This number governs the strength of the electromagnetic force, which is what holds atoms together and allows for chemical bonds. The formula for the fine structure constant includes the speed of light. If c becomes infinite, this constant's value changes dramatically, and the consequences are apocalyptic. The electromagnetic force would become infinitely strong. Electrons would be crushed into the atomic nucleus. Stable atoms could no longer exist. Without stable atoms, there are no chemical bonds. Molecules couldn't hold together. Water, proteins, DNA, the very building blocks of life would be impossible to form. The intricate dance of biochemistry that allows a cell to function would cease. The universe would become a sterile, barren place, composed of nothing but bizarre, elementary particles in a chaotic soup. And even if, by some miracle, a different form of life could exist, what about consciousness? Our consciousness, our very experience of being, is built on the passage of time, the processing of information in a sequence. We perceive a flow of events from one moment to the next. In a universe without causality, where time is a jumbled mess and sensory input is an infinite, instantaneous flood, how could a coherent thought form? How could a mind experience a continuous stream of consciousness? The very framework required for self-awareness would be shattered. Let's end our journey by considering what it would actually feel like to be a conscious observer in this broken reality, for the brief moment before existence dissolved. Our perception is entirely dependent on the travel time of light and sound. When you look at a friend across the room, you are seeing them a few nanoseconds in the past. When you see a lightning strike and hear the thunder a few seconds later, your brain uses that delay to calculate distance. Our brains are exquisitely tuned to interpret these delays, to build a coherent, three-dimensional model of the world around us from a stream of time-gated information. In the universe of infinite C, this entire system of perception collapses. You wouldn't just see the friend in front of you. You would see them, and the wall behind them, and the building behind that, and the city behind that, and the mountains, the moon, the sun, and every single star and galaxy in the universe all at once, superimposed on top of each other, with no sense of depth or distance. Your eyes would be flooded with an infinite amount of visual information from every direction simultaneously. It would be an unprocessable, blinding onslaught of sensory data. Now, apply that to your other senses. You would hear every sound in the universe, at the same instant every conversation. every car horn, every star's fusion roar, every whisper all, at the same volume, inside your head. It would be a sensory overload so complete and so absolute that it would be pure torture. Reality itself would be unbearable, a static wall of infinite noise that your mind could not possibly navigate or comprehend. And so, we pulled back from the brink. We flick the cosmic switch back to its proper setting, and our universe, with all its beautiful orderly rules, snaps back into place. The light from the sun takes 8 minutes to warm your face. The night sky is a dark, peaceful canvas. Cause and effect guide your every action. Your very atoms hold together. This nightmarish thought experiment reveals a profound and beautiful truth. The limitations of our universe are not flaws. They are the very features that make existence possible. The finite speed of light is not a cosmic prison cell. It is the cornerstone of a stable, coherent reality. It is the rule that allows for the unfolding of time, the telling of a story, the evolution of complexity, and ultimately, the emergence of life and consciousness. Some physicists and philosophers speculate about the existence of a multiverse, an infinite sea of other universes, each with its own set of physical laws. If this is true, it's likely that the vast majority of those universes are like the one we just visited, chaotic, sterile, and uninhabitable wastelands where the constants aren't just right. It suggests that we are living in one of the rare, lucky ones. Our universe feels so perfect for us because it has to be. If its laws were any different, we wouldn't be here to wonder about them. The constants of nature, including the speed of light, are precisely tuned to allow for the magnificent 13.8 billion year story that has led to you, right here, right now, pondering the nature of it all. So what can we take away from this journey into cosmic chaos? It's a powerful metaphor for our own lives. We often rail against our limitations. We wish we had more time, more energy, more knowledge, more instant gratification. We see our limits as obstacles to our happiness. But this cosmic parable teaches us that limitations are what give life meaning and structure. A life without limits, like a universe with an infinite light speed, would be a chaotic, meaningless mess. It is the fact that our time is finite that makes each moment precious. It is the effort and the journey, the travel time, that makes the destination worthwhile. It's the struggle that builds character and the waiting that builds anticipation. Instead of fighting our limitations, perhaps we can learn to appreciate them. They are the rules of the game of life. And within those rules, an infinite amount of beauty, creativity, love, and wonder is possible. The slowness of the universe is a gift. It gives us time to see the past, to plan for the future, and most importantly, to exist meaningfully in the present. I want to leave you with a few questions to think about. Which of the consequences we explored today do you find the most terrifying, and why? If you could safely experience just one aspect of that broken universe for a single minute, what would it be? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to read them. Thank you for joining me on this mind-bending journey to the edge of reality and back. I wish you all a wonderful, healthy, and safe week, filled with an appreciation for the beautiful, orderly world around us. And if you enjoyed this exploration and want to dive into more cosmic mysteries with us, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Until next time.